Oh, does that start at 1?
No,
here we go. Cool. We're live. I'm back from a break. I'm so excited about this webinar. We'll just wait because we're a couple minutes early. We've got a new microphone. This is how we're starting the new year, right? And just want to make sure everyone can hear us and the sound is okay. So if there's a few people already on the chat, so if you could just let us know if you can hear us, that would be great.
Hi guys, Happy New Year. We'll just like so we'll just wait for a couple of minutes and make sure that our new fancy mic's working and you can hear us all better. We know that some of you there were some issues with our voice not being clear enough the last couple of webinars, so we thought we'll invest in some technology right here.
Yeah.
So let's hope that's working. Cool.
Calendar and clear.
That's great. Cool. So we still have technically 2 minutes before everyone jumps in, and then we'll start. That's good. If it's too loud, Jeff, just maybe push the screen a little back a little. Cool. Yeah, we've got a few different exciting news for you guys, and we've got a pretty good webinar. We'll try to still keep it short and sweet, but sorry about the dashboard not working. We figured that out last night, but now I think it should be fixed by now anyway. But yeah, some of our team starts a bit later, so it just took a few extra hours for it to get fixed. But yeah, it all is happening. There are a lot of changes being made, and we're just trying and planning to test things out, and that's why those issues happen. But that's fine. Like none of the data has been lost or anything like that. It's pretty local, the issue that happened, so it's all under control. Cool. Hi Dawn. Hi Lee.
It's 1 o'clock.
And it's 1 o'clock.
That down. Cool.
Cool. I think we can officially start now that Sarah's computer has told us that it's 1 o'clock. All right, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, so I wanted to start with a year in review. So 2018, just shouting out sort of our big highlights of the year, and we had a lot, which is great. I'm going to start in April. So we had our Crosspoints Perceptions artist pop-up with Will Dickinson, Sarah Tracton, and Maria Pena. Forgive me if that's wrong. Which was our first pop-up in Melbourne, and it was really good, and it kind of kept the ball rolling for the other pop-ups that we did later in the year. In April, we also had our Bluethumb Art Prize, which Kim Hayanji took out both the overall and People's Choice and won over $10,000. Lucky Kim. In May, Alexandra was welcomed to the team. Woo, Alex! And she's the best. So we're very happy to have her, and she's been growing our trade clients, and it's been going crazy. We also released the Collector's Home blog. So Freddie, who's our PR manager, his own home blog. And that was our most successful yet, and definitely has paved the way for more of sort of the collector style blogs because they just went really well. In June, we had our Canberra artist pop-up, Field of Vision, which had several local artists to the ACT. Went quite well as well. In July, we partnered with Sala, and we also released a Bluethumb People's Choice, which went to Ellie Kramer, and she won $3,000 from us. In July, that was July. July also, we did an Art Mart pop-up. So this was kind of, we did it because the other art fair and the other, all the other art fairs were on, and this was our little contribution and showing that art can be affordable. And and it went really well. We set it up in an IGA store really close to the fair and got featured in Broadsheet, which Freddie was very happy about.
We all were.
We all were. Blue but that was Freddie. Like he was a gun.
He did the hardy ads.
Yeah. He followed that Broadsheet editor guy and stalked him. But in a good way, like friendly way. In August, we had our first trade event. We had a stall for decor and design, which Alex ran, and Susie came in and did some live painting. It went really well, and it opened us up to a whole new market, which is great. In September, we had Desert Mob, which is the festival that celebrates contemporary Indigenous art. So Freddie went up there and represented Bluethumb and schmoozed everyone, and it was great. In October, we partnered with Mission to Seafarers, Maritime Art Prize. We were their online partner, and Joni Dennis took out that winning prize for her work, I Captain. Then moving also to later October, we had our third Sydney artist pop-up, and that was with Kat Lass, Belinda Nadwi, and Ben Tankard. Shiraz and I flew over, met heaps of Sydney artists, such a great little community, which also paved the way for our artist meetup in Melbourne, which was the first one we hosted in November. So those were all the big highlights. It was a great year. It's just awesome, and it's going to get better. We've been having a lot of meetings sort of this first couple of weeks back, and we can't tell you anything, but there's so many great things coming, and I'm so excited. But that's it. That's all I'm going to say. And now we're going to move on to 2019, what we can tell you about 2019.
Yeah, you can see the excitement. So it's quite nicely controlling. Well, with 2019, before we get into that, I just wanted to take some time and thank you guys. The support that we get from you guys, our artists, is incredible. And without that, what we do would be way more difficult, really, really difficult. But the support that we get from you guys is really good. And it tells us that what we do is working in a small way somewhere. And that's what we want to try and continue doing. The support in terms of suggestions, in terms of guidance, in terms of what's worked for you, what's not worked for you, opinions, having the Facebook group. There have been issues. Sometimes they start on the sort of the wrong foot, but we all end up learning something from it, and the marketplace itself and the overall market itself eventually sort of gets better. And it all starts with you guys. If you are the artists that we have, and Australian artists are the main audience for this, and everything sort of works around you guys. So the support, thank you for the support that we've gotten from you. It has been really, really good, and we are really appreciative of it. I've just written down some points so I don't forget, so I'll try and keep looking at my notes. So in 2018, a lot of things, we tried a lot of things, and a lot of it worked and a lot of it didn't. So that's what we have done in the end of 2018. And now what we are doing is trying to learn what's worked and what's not, and try to push and put a bit more effort into what has worked, and also trying out new things so that we can keep testing our theories. And one thing that has really worked, and which is quite obvious now that we look at it, is just being transparent with you guys with what we know in terms of what we find out with, in terms of from data-backed researches, from buyer behaviors, from collector behaviors, what happens, what doesn't happen, what kind of thoughts, what kind of questions, and all that kind of stuff. And by the end of 2018, we started doing a bit more of that actively, and we'll continue doing that this year as well. So just share what we know with you guys, because it's such a broad platform, and every artist and every person comes from a different background. We will try and present that data as as simply to you guys to be able to use it and apply it in your practice as simply as we can. That's one thing that we're going to do. The other main goal for us for 2019 is to just keep it simple and stick to the basics. So know what's important and put all the effort and sort of like keep coming back to what's important and just keep doing that better. So essentially what we have done in 2018, we just need to do it the best we can in 2019. So just keeping the goal quite simple. Like I said, we've put a lot of effort in trying to find out, what's worked, and we're going to do that as well. So again, like opinions and sort of suggestions from you guys are invaluable to us. We have already learned a lot from you guys, and we will keep doing that. We'll ask you more questions. We'll try to be a bit more engaging, and we'll try to get to know your issues, your problems that you face, or sort of the challenges that you guys have a bit more, so we can try and work our way around on providing the solutions for that. Overall, Bluethumb in 2018 and pretty much every year before that, our goal has been to create a uniform and a simple market, not a marketplace, but a market overall for Aussie artists, to just sort of enhancing that space so that the opportunities get created a bit. And that's what we're going to try and continue doing that as well, as simply as we can. It's quite simple when it's said out loud, but a lot of different things go into making that. So the first and the foremost thing is the behavior of the people who purchase art online, just making it a bit more normal, as for the lack of any other word, just sort of getting people used to it, the trust that comes to it, and just the idea that you can buy art online. Already, like, the younger generation does, but there's still about more than half the market who doesn't really believe into doing that. And so just we'll sort of try and keep doing what we do. So 2018 has been a pretty good year, and we'll try and make 2019 a better year, and the best year that we've had so far, and we have no doubt that we'll get there. A few good things that are coming up, we'll touch base. I'll just quickly give you as much information as I can. So basically, we've been talking about this for quite a while, and we have been updating and upgrading the way we collect data for you guys, for artists, to be able to see from your point of view which ones, which artwork's doing better, and more insights and more detailed insights. And we are very close. It's almost there. For you to be able to see those stats, the upgraded stats, your dashboard, and the way your profile looks on Bluethumb will get a huge push this year as well, pretty close, like pretty soon, which would be amazing. Again, like, all this has been based on a lot of things that we've learned, but obviously it's, the first go is never perfect. So that's why we have to try and test things. So the first time when it gets out to you guys, we will obviously have a huge sort of feedback session, and get your ideas and suggestions on what seems good and what doesn't. And there might be challenges that we might not have seen from your point of view that we'll get to know. So we'll keep updating that as well. But we are there. All the hard work sort of that's gone into learning and designing, it's almost execution time. So that's something to look forward to pretty close. It's just there, just probably, I can't tell you time, but it's pretty close.
It's super soon.
Yeah. Another couple of things that we're going to focus on in terms of how we function is, like I said, we're going to stick to basics. But what I mean by that is we're going to stick to the basics of how the market works. So a few points like, accuracy overall on the site, because there's so many different artists and so many different profiles. A lot of times there's information which sometimes isn't accurate. And so we're going to try and work a way that makes that easier for artists to notice and have better and accurate information. I think a lot of education sort of goes into that as well. Just sort of like getting familiar with the platform goes into that as well. But accuracy of the information of the artworks and photos and sizes and prices and all that kind of stuff. Again, consistency from our side and from the artist side as well. Just consistency really helps in terms of client retention and customer retention. So like when someone, the goal of a brand to be consistent is that when someone sees something out of the context, they should just be able to instantly identify that this is from this particular brand or this particular artist or something like that. So that is something that we keep in mind as well. And obviously simplicity in terms of how easily can we pass on the information to the clients, and without any confusion, without having a lot of information on the same page and making it cluttered and confusion and all that kind of stuff. So all these are quite easily said, but they are quite challenging things to do, but we're going to keep on trying work and try to work towards them. Price uniformity and consistency is quite important as well, and I'll talk about it just in a bit more detail, maybe at the end of this and at the end of the webinar. Price uniformity in terms of like how you price your artworks and how important that is and what kind of a role it plays in terms of decision making, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that's what we're looking at 2019, and this is only the first webinar, so we will try and plan the webinars that are coming up, and also artist meetups and stuff much more in advance, so we can give you that kind of notice, so we can collect more questions and stuff rather than just asking questions online and all that. I will talk about price consistency in a minute, but do you have any other points that you wanted to talk about?
No, okay. I'm good.
That's good. Let me just make sure I'm not missing out anything.
Okay.
Cool. So in terms of price consistency, what we really want to talk about is what we've learned is that's the major factor that sort of makes or breaks a lot of things when it comes to decision making for our clients. So what we ask, and we've been asking that in the past as well, and so what we basically asking is that when you price an artwork on Bluethumb, just make sure that if you are putting it up on different platforms as well, other online marketplaces, make sure that the prices are consistent. So if the final price that the client sees should be the same on both platforms, it plays a major role. I mean, we cannot emphasize it enough on what kind of role that plays in decision making. The other thing is, it's just a basic instinct for people to sort of it comes to them, like if there's some sort of inconsistency when they're trying to make a big decision, like buying art is a big decision, when there's any kind of inconsistency, it just sort of gives them some kind of doubt, and if once they have that doubt in their minds, it's very difficult for them to execute that decision. So that's really important. We have been writing a few smaller articles on this as well, and we'll share that with you as soon as we can for you. But yeah, those are all the points that we wanted to talk about. We'll just quickly go through the comments, and I'm going to increase the font so Sarah can read it from a distance because some of us can't see.
Yep, two of us, both with glasses.
Cool.
Looks like everyone's saying hello.
It's also really good to see that you guys have such a good community on the Facebook group, and you know each other. And when you jump on the webinars, seeing that you guys are actually talking to each other is really really supporting. Like it's really good to see. Cool, everyone can hear us. That's a good thing. Scrolling past. If you've just seen the comment that you can't see any video, I'm hoping that you can see the video now, but it's all being recorded.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, everyone's saying it's just you, Eve.
Oh, it's just, cool. But you can see the video anyway. It'll be on YouTube anyway, so you should be able to. Oh, cool. Refresh work. That's good. That's ages that buy online. Jen,
for Bluethumb or online?
If you mean for Bluethumb, we can give you a rough idea, which is, our core market is people between, I would say, 35 to 60. But, as we are growing and as the market's growing, that's changing quite significantly. When we started, it was between 40 to 55. Now it's changed quite a lot, with the payment plans coming in and, younger people sort of getting homes and buying art, and also young professionals buying for their clients, it's changed significantly.
Yeah.
So it's quite difficult to stick to one age range in that sense. But when it's much easier. Also, it depends a lot on the artist. So because we're a platform and we have so many different kind of artists, it's very difficult to give one particular artist an idea, because even if I do, it won't be accurate for you. It will be accurate for a pool of artists, like for 1,000 artists, that will be sort of an accurate figure. The other thing I was going to say is depends on what kind of purchase is that. Is it a personal purchase? Is it a commercial purchase? Is it for their clients, or is it for a trade project and stuff like that? So it varies quite a bit. Social media paid ads the way to go for our art. Cynthia, so social media paid ads is something that we do significantly. Yeah. So that's something that when we say that quite a lot more than half what we earn in commissions goes into paid marketing, that's what we talk about. So if you're talking about yourself from your point of view, it's something that you should definitely try.
Yeah.
When it comes to social media ads, a lot of different variables work for different people. So happy to put an article out for that, like a quick one, just to note a few points. But just in a nutshell, what really works is the content. So obviously, you're supporting, you're sort of advertising your art practice, which is good. So images and what you write about it is really important as well. So people do prefer to see pictures, but also, good content, written content does a lot well.
I think as well, videos seem to do a lot better than photographs. So videos of yourself painting tend to do really well.
Yeah, people get engaged more with that. But obviously, give it a try. If you try on Facebook, it's easy. Like, it's not very expensive to give it a go. The more specific you get, the more expensive it gets. So the more specific audience you target, and the number of the size of the audience you target, it starts getting more expensive. But starting with basic and testing out how it works, it's not that expensive. You can definitely give it a go. With us though, like the level that we do paid marketing is completely different. It's really, a lot of it is done automatically. So we don't actually do a lot of things manually. It learns from the ads that go out, which ones are performing, which ones are not performing, and sort of keeps learning on it and keeps spending money, or like spending resources towards the one which are working, and also creating new ads based on which ones are working. So a lot of that is automated. What about a service for individual artists to review profiles and offer specific advice?
Would that be artists offering artist advice?
What about a service for individual artists to review profiles and offer? Lisa, if you mean the Bluethumb team providing individual artists, reviewing their profiles and advice. Wait, let me scroll the way down. Do you want to answer that?
Yeah. So currently, if someone wants their profile reviewed, that's something that we do. We normally, so it's something that I do every now and then. I don't get many people writing in to review, but what I'll normally do is someone will write in saying they want their profile reviewed or want to know how they can improve, and then we'll schedule a call. I'll schedule a call with them. I'll go through what I think can change and just try and figure out what kind of direction they want to go in. And it's like normally it's a 10-15 minute call, and then I just give you a bunch of info, and it's up to you what you want to do with it. But that's normally what we do in terms of like reviewing, or if someone isn't too sure about where they're going, we do try to help, but we normally schedule, like whenever I schedule a call, I always schedule it later in the week because it's just too crazy in the beginning of the week. But yeah, maybe if you do want your profile reviewed, email in to help. It will come to me, and then we can set up a time.
Yeah,
with
artist profile reviews, we do that. But the only restricting factor there for us is time. But we try to do that as much as we can. That's why we try to put in all these articles, so that it sort of helps. So every point that we come across that we might see that can cover those points, we try to put up an article. But obviously at any point, if you feel like you need someone from the team to have a look at your profile and see if it can be improved, definitely write in. Send us an email. That's much easier way, because it's a bit more um, I don't know, a bit more significant way rather than chats or calls or texts and stuff. So we might not get to it immediately, but we will get back to you, and we can give you all the we can give you our opinions, and we can tell you what has worked and what worked for different people, and then you can sort of pick from that information and pick and choose and see what works for you. Thank you for the pop-up window on Bluethumb.
That's what
okay, cool.
Carol's
asking, are you looking at artists having the ability to have sales this year? I think what Carol means is you being able to do your own sales, sort of like do your own promotions and saying, I've reduced my work and stuff like that. Carol, that's something that has been discussed, but it just depends on a decision hasn't been made in that sense, because we don't know if we want to go into the direction of having sales on the site, which is publicly visible. Mm-hmm. When we do have sales or promotions, we always do it to our past collectors, or it's always limited and it's never site wide, and or it's never like an open thing. It just we don't want to enter that section where it looks like a discounted marketplace. So that has come up, but there are different ways of approaching what you're asking for. Is for the artist to be able to create your own discount codes that are applicable and stuff like that. That has been discussed, but it hasn't. It's unlikely that it will be executed in the first half of the year.
The most successful way that I've seen people have sales is putting in their title. So they might edit their work and say like a price drop or sale, putting it in the actual title, and then sending people to their page through their sort of Instagram, social media. And so letting their sort of audience know, hey, I've got a couple price drops or items on sale, studio clear out. That's the best way to do it. Well, that's the most successful way I've seen so far. If you do have, if there's work that you want to move on.
Yeah. Greta's asking, I've reduced prices on older works and work in a style that I'm no longer doing. Does this reduce buyer trust, or should pricing be same across all styles regardless? Do you want to answer that question?
Yeah, I think it's, because our site doesn't clearly, because the Bluethumb doesn't clearly say, this work is on sale or we're having a sale. I think you really need to let people know that you've price dropped. With reducing prices on older work, it's, I guess, if it's something you need to do to clear out your studio, it's a good idea. It might not affect buyer trust. We do see that when people up their prices without sort of mentioning or doing anything, that's what tends to put buyers off. And that does actually happen. Sometimes, something goes into an award and then they feel like they can up the price by $400 or whatever. And then that person was like, I was just about to purchase this and I don't want to purchase it anymore. So with upping prices, we see more so that it does affect buyer trust, but decreasing, it's not really happened that someone's inquired in saying like, hey, this is now $200 cheaper. What's going on? So yeah, I hope that answers it, but maybe you should touch on it.
One thing I would add to it is pricing, and I think this is a common understanding for even buyers, is pricing for artists. It does consist of a few different factors on how complex your art is, and how much time you spend, and obviously your experience, how experienced you as an artist are. If you're reducing prices on artworks that you've done ages ago, I would say if you want to do that, do mention in the description or somewhere on the site that you've done, you've reduced, say, for example, from 700 to 500 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So they know that this was priced at this. Because the only thing that I can see that might affect you is, say, for example, you sold a piece for $500 that you would usually now sell for $1,000, and someone says that price as sold, and they come back and say, oh hey, I wanted a piece like this in this size.
Yeah,
But then
as a
it's
commission.
as a commission, and then it's a bit difficult to make them understand that, look, he or she paints now, her prices are at now at this point, but this was an older piece and all that kind of stuff. So it's always good to for you to leave that note saying this was at this price, now it is this because of this, blah blah blah, just so that there's a record of it online. But I don't think it affects buyer trust, because people understand that artists evolve in their style and in their practice. So you'd be doing something for a year or 2 years, and then you learn something and you sort of you change. So that's completely understandable.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth mentioning. An artist had a sort of sale just on their website, and this happened when you were away. So someone had a sale on their website, but their prices didn't match on Bluethumb. If you guys do want to have your own personal sale, you just need to let us know. If you're not going to price match, there's like for the sales lasting for a week, we can just simply turn your profile private, and it just takes everything off the site, and then we don't then it just runs from your website, and then as soon as that sale is over, it's just a click of a button and we can make it public again. So if you do want to have your own internal sales, you still need to let us know about that as well.
Yeah, just a matter of price uniformity that we were talking about, that it needs to be consistent, otherwise it gets quite difficult for us as well. Jillian, about the search function, small that you would mentioning here. So search filters will be getting an update early this year as well. But at this point, what that small means, those are brackets, obviously. So we've quite broadly divided the artworks that are there in small, medium, and large. It's not the best way of doing it, but given the amount of artworks that are there, it's quite difficult to really narrow them down, like to be able to provide that kind of technology to be able to narrow them down. But we are working on it. But right now, the way it works is it's either or. So when you say small, then at least one of the sides of the artwork would be under 30. So there could be an artwork which is 80 centimeters by 30 centimeters, or even like 2 meters by 30 centimeters. It would still show up in small, but it will also show up in large. So it's not exclusive, like it's not mutually exclusive. The small and medium ones, they overlap, but it just helps to increase the range of the search. The search on Bluethumb is not perfect, but
we use it every day. We know it's not perfect,
but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Like a lot of suggestions have gone in, and a lot of things have been tested. And essentially, what we want to come up with is an easier way of searching, a more accurate way of searching. So you have the ability to narrow down as much as you would like, which you can't do at this point of time. We understand that. Lisa, we are getting Afterpay. It might take a couple of months.
Yeah.
The reason that we haven't gotten Afterpay, a couple of things. One is technology related.
Yeah. The site wasn't compatible before.
Yeah, one is technology related, but that got sorted late last year. But the other side of it is also sort of the mindset of things, which is, I mean, we probably shouldn't get into it right now. We can have a different chat about this, but we will be getting Afterpay probably, I would say, in a couple of months time. It just needs a bit of dedicated time from our design and development team, just so that it can work in properly. We also might get a couple of similar services like that as well. We've been approached by a few people.
Nola Keith.
How close are we to being able to set up galleries on our own profile? Or if you mean collections?
Yeah.
I would say very
close, very, very close.
And I will leave it at that.
That's all we can say.
Lisa, I asked about that. It would be great for people who want to purchase the under 1,000 painting. They were going to look into it.
I think that's a chat between them.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. The comments keep jumping.
Yeah. I can tell you all missed us because there's so much. Yeah.
Don't think. I think I will close actually because the American dollar is hard to judge the cost. I'd rather be loyal to Bluethumb and make it easier. Now you can deliver overseas.
Yeah.
We can definitely deliver overseas, but all those decisions are yours, Don. I will not say anything about it. There've been a lot of talk about every page about artists following artists to boost.
I've been waiting for this to come up.
Yeah, and want customers to follow me. Yeah. Look, do you want to talk about it?
Well, I have a different opinion on it to you, so maybe you should. Right. Maybe you should go first.
I'm glad that you guys tested that out. It shows how popularity works. And obviously, it's good for artists to follow artists, and that's great. And you've seen that when you follow, when a bunch of artists, a bunch of followers an artist gets, they get more popularity points. But that feature is essentially made for collectors because, it's fine to support. But that's when we built that feature, and it's still that way, and we're not going to change it. It's built for customers. So when new people follow a particular artist, they get popularity points and they show up there. So also those popularity points have an expiry date. So they last between 24 to 48 hours. So say, for example, you followed me, I will get, say, X amount of popularity points. Those X amount of popularity points will expire in a particular time. Anyway, so it's fine for you guys to do it. That's absolutely fine. But in my personal opinion, I don't think it has a huge effect on number of views, or it would get number of views, but it wouldn't have a lot of direct effect on how well you're doing on the site. But it's the tools that we made are there for you guys to experiment with, and I'm really happy to see that you are doing that, and it's great.
I think just touching on it, a lot of people think, the algorithms aren't real. This is a great example that the algorithms are real, and they're there, and popularity does count for this, it does count on the site. I don't like that's great. I love that everyone is experimenting with it as well, but it's not the type of I think it's not the type of audience you really want to reach out to. If you really want that to mean wow and to make a sale, you've got to be getting other people to follow you and like your stuff. And it is very supportive for the group and the community that you guys are all a part of, but it's not going to get you the likelihood of it getting you a sale is very, very low. So you're better off trying to reach out to a larger audience and getting a different audience and getting them to follow you instead.
Yeah. And the followers, the essential idea behind it is that, they will get notified when artists upload new artworks. And I know there have been questions about that as well. And I've talked to a few artists about that. And there have been a few questions about how often those emails are going out, because a lot of you, when you follow other artists, you haven't received particular emails. So it's a bit tricky. Not tricky. It's a bit like it's not as simple as if you follow 1,000 artists, you will get 1,000 emails tomorrow morning when all of them upload an artwork. So we can't let that happen, because people just unsubscribe immediately. If I follow 100 artists and every week I get 100 different emails from 100 different artists, it will never work. So that's why it works in a way that a lot of consolidation happens, and that a lot of it is sort of randomized as well. But that needs to change as well, and it is being worked on as well. But anyway, the point was that the following is made so that the collectors can follow you in terms of notifications and keeping updated when you upload new works. So that's essentially why it was built. If I was posting out, I would be more likely to look at an artist that has more followers regardless of who they are. Bias aren't aware who the followers are. That's good. I mean, that's an opinion, I would say. But yeah, it does happen in cases. Welcome, Deb. I'm glad you made it. Karen says, please, no sales. People will wait to buy their paintings only when the sale is on.
It's that's why we don't want to do it.
That's precisely why. That's why we never want to do sales in Christmas time. We never do Boxing Day sales. We never do Black Friday sales. We don't do any of those, because it hurts the market and the marketplace and the artist more than it benefits them, because people, like you said, Kathmandu, you know that they're going to have a 50% sale every week, so you will never buy anything full price, and we don't want that to happen. Like Kathmandu is the exact example that is what has been in our heads when we talk about sales, because I buy from there and I never buy anything full price because I know that I can get 70% off on certain things. Why would I want to spend $400 if I can get something for 100?
Yeah.
Anyway, on other sites, I get BT ads, and any that artist has reduced their price, so price reduced across the image, where you obviously sound so brave that makes me look twice. Those price reduced ads was
that was
it was an experiment that that
that our marketing partner, that was an experiment that they were doing, and so if someone had dropped their price, they would show up in those ads, and we put a stop to it straight away because it didn't work.
It wasn't approved. It wasn't.
They just did it without our knowledge.
Consult us.
Yeah.
It came to us as a surprise when we saw those ads. I was like,
and people questioned us about it. And we're like, what is going on? So
anyway, so that shouldn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
That happened only for a little period.
Yeah, until we caught on. Lisa, so what should you do when upping prices? I would never, if you've put something on the site at a certain price, I wouldn't ever up it. So if you're wanting to up your prices for the new year, what I would suggest doing is for every new artwork, you up that price, because that's, and then people will also be able to see the difference in price, and they will inquire about it. And you say, I'm more talented than I was last year. This is my worth, blah, 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 blah. But I would never, if you've already got something set as a price somewhere, I would not up that. I wouldn't touch it unless you're going to drop it.
Yeah. I would also just add one thing, that when you are upping prices for your new artworks or your more recent artworks, do it gradually. So if your last work for 1 meter by 1 meter was listed at $1,000, don't make the next one $2,000. Just it's an advice, like it's from our point of view. Maybe things have changed. Maybe this is your first artwork in 5 years. Then that's justified. But in normal cases, also putting a sales price on painting would devalue all the other paintings you've sold.
Yeah.
It's formula from pricing. I don't sell from my website at all now. Link to PT. What about other sites on sales and we have no option? Jen, that's something that we are sort of protesting against, if you want to call it that way. We obviously don't have control on what other marketplaces do when it comes to sales. They offer different services, and the way they offer those services are quite different than the way we do. They operate in a different way. Their goals and their vision is different than what ours is. And I can't speak for them as to what their goal is. We've talked about this before. The way we market and acquire new customers is quite different, and we don't have a lot of short-term goals. I'll just quickly reiterate that. So when we do marketing, when we actually market, our plan is not to only show ads and market to people who are ready to purchase, who have already made up their mind that they want to buy an artwork. We instead market to a much higher funnel. So in terms of funnels, here are the people who actually want to buy the artwork. They're ready to purchase an artwork. We don't market to them. These are the people that you market with discount codes and sales and stuff. We market to the top funnel, where people don't even know that they can buy artworks online, or they haven't even thought about it. These are the people that are looking to buy new homes, or have just gotten a new job or just moved. They haven't thought about buying an artwork. They don't know they can do it. So those are the people. So that's why when we talk about that, we're trying to make a uniform and fair market. That's what we mean, that we're trying to create that sort of understanding and sort of like a normality of whatever you want to call it. So the way we do, and the reason why we don't do sales is because of that. And obviously we suffer a little bit because of that. We do lose on, if person A wants to buy an artwork for $1,000 and they know that we are not giving any sales out, and the other person is having a 10 or 15% off sale, then obviously they will buy it from them. And that's okay. That's fine. That's something that we have to sacrifice. Or sacrifice is a huge word, but we face that anyway, and we understand that. But we're not going to be like, all right, fine, here, like we're not gonna take a step back, is what we're trying to say.
Imagine a world where you put your artwork out there for a price and someone just buys it and doesn't want a discount. Imagine that world. That's the world we're trying to build.
Anyway, like we're only cogs in the wheel, so a lot of things we say is how we see our vision is, and we're just sort of trying to stick to it.
Yeah. Oh, you just scrolled down.
No, it just automatically jumps down.
Geez, there's so many comments. That's it there, Greta.
There are a few comments about Sachi that I will just scroll past. Nola Misty. I hope she's talking about us and not. Anyway. It's all about algorithms. Will all the paintings, even when sold or withdrawn, stay on this website? Will all the paintings, even when sold or withdrawn? Joss, first of all, welcome. I think this is your first webinar. All the paintings which are sold on Bluethumb, and if you choose to mark them as sold, if you sold them outside, will stay on Bluethumb. But if you want to delete an artwork, obviously you can delete an artwork. You have that control at any point in time. I think Jillian's answered that question already. Thanks for clarifying. And the followers asked about being featured. Was that you took out from followers? I'll let Sarah answer that question.
I featured you, Dawn. It was well overdue, and it was I think what happened is I was on your profile and it was looking really nice, and well deserved and should have happened sooner. But we love your work, so keep it up.
I'll just add that when profiles go up on popular pages, we can see where the popularity points and the followers are coming from. So it has nothing to do with
that algorithms.
Marion, if the price drop ads are still showing up, that is a concern, and it shouldn't happen. But I'll just check on that. If you still see one, just send me a screenshot. I think you've sent me one last time, but if you still see one now, maybe send one. It might be something local, like it might be something like an old ad or sort of like an old algo that's still showing you ads, but I'll still definitely want to check that. There's no captions. Can you provide?
Oh yeah, that's Shell.
YouTube.
She's hearing impaired.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, we'll make that happen. Yeah.
Just as expensive is that if you lower your prices, it causes confusion with the people who buy it for investments, or possibly with the more expensive artworks. Yeah, Joss, that's exactly what Sarah was saying. That once you've listed an artwork online anywhere, once it's online anywhere, people will be able to find it somehow. So it's essential to not lower the price. Shell, we'll definitely put captions out for this video. I'm sorry, we haven't switched it on.
We'll type something in a sec.
We'll definitely do it.
Yeah.
It is tough lip reading, I agree. Oh god.
Just happened again.
No, I think. Sorry, I'll try to open my. I know you're trying to lip read. Sorry. My beard doesn't really help with that.
We'll get better lighting next time. Okay. I don't mind if you want to do sales, but what do you want us to do with our work on BT when it goes on sale?
So what do you want us to do with our work on BT when it goes on sale on other sites and we don't have a say, take it off BT? Jen, that's well, essentially, you can look. There are a few things that you can do, and it comes down to a personal opinion. That you can either make it unavailable, or you can match the price to that site. But again, like I wouldn't want to comment on it too much because it does come down to a personal thing. Essentially, if it just depends on how you want to go about it. If you do want your artwork to be sold for a lower price, you can match the price on BT to that price, or you can go around the other way and up the price. So even after discount, it comes down to the same price. It's a personal opinion. I wouldn't I wouldn't make a statement on that. Yeah, that's right, Joss. There definitely is a huge gap when it comes to the art marketplace market, especially in Australia and overseas as well. But it's a long game, I guess. And we have been in the market for a while, and we are trying to fill as much of that gap as we can. But obviously, a lot of it does depend on the artist as well. Their journeys and their prices. Thanks, Lauren. Greta says she wants that world. Convince me that sales aren't the best way to go. Well, that's good, Carol. I'm glad you understand.
Yeah.
I only online marketplace to BT. I'm still struggling trying to work out how to get near to the top of BT algorithm. I send people to BT and Kristen to Fair, etc. Any hints? Noila, we have a few articles, and there will be more of them coming as well. I'll make sure that I send one email to you with all of them. I'm sure you would have seen a lot of them already, but we can just take that as a starting point and move from there. Oh no. Oh yeah. Stupid Date is hard, and Jillian, that is okay. I hope BT can provide.
Yeah.
We will definitely do. Shall we'll provide the full transcription for the video. I'm assuming that's Freddie.
Yeah, Freddie
saying Happy New Year to you guys. Thanks,
beard
Nyla.
Is looking good.
The beard is back, better than ever.
Yeah,
we do not. Like
I'm very happy about it.
We do not like people loving our work, but always offer us a reduced price. So why wholesale thing?
Well, I think if you think of our sale, whenever we have a sales period, it's to return collectors. So I think if you had that same sort of theory, like someone's come back to buy your work, and I know a lot of artists do offer sort of return collector discount, that's kind of how we see it. It's like they're staying true to us, and so that's why we don't offer sales outside of that. Yeah.
Julie, so Instagram, yes, they are selected by us. It's done by the curation team, and I think they're almost like selected almost a few weeks or a month in advance.
Yeah,
just depends on what kind of the theme and the curatorial theme, what kind of theme they're following. So I don't think I explained it well enough. You said before, if we have a sale on our on-site, switch off BT. Right. Oh, that's what Sarah was talking about. Yeah. So there are a few ways, Jen. Let me just read your second comment as well, so I don't miss anything. When a third-party site has sale, we can't opt out, and price will be less. Do you expect us to close our BT page for you? No, we don't expect. I mean, we don't expect you to close your profile on Bluethumb. And like I said, we don't really have Bluethumb can't really control and sort of like tell you exactly what you have to do. But essentially, it just does come down to the fact on which way would you prefer your artwork to be sold. And like I said, you can either match your price on Bluethumb to them, or you can you can up the price. So after discount, it's the same. A lot of these factors come down to a personal choice of artists. Jen, I'm happy to have a chat with you later on about this in a bit more detail. Just it's a bit difficult to get into in depth on this platform. I'm glad you like that, Lisa. The notifications on the dashboard is something that we intend to use more often. Make sure that when you've seen something, close it. So because there are always a couple of them in the queue. So when you close one, you'll get to see the next one. Try to keep it clear. You're welcome, Don. I have to go real soon. Some of us have to work. Can you touch on the tech stuff? The tech stuff, I already talked about a little bit, Noella. That what I can tell you at this point in time, is that you'll get a new dashboard, and you will also get a new profile. The whole look will change. The amount of data that you will get from us on
So exciting.
how in terms of number of views and all those kind of things, you'll get more information, and more's coming as well. So it doesn't just stop just now. But I can't show you right now because my hands are tied. But that's about it. Like, it's coming out real soon.
And we've seen it, and it's so pretty.
By real soon, I mean I know exactly when it's coming out. So that's real soon.
Yeah.
It's good to see so many different streams of art on one side, modern and classic and mixing. Thank you, Joss.
Yeah.
We that's a that's
Awesome
a really good
comment.
compliment to us and to our artists. We've been working really hard to get here, and we're gonna go a fair distance. Can you talk a bit more about the discounts for return customers? Would you suggest offering that to BT buyers? How does that work? Greta, so we do that from our end. You'd be surprised how many people buy art more than once. It's significant. And it's a way of rewarding them and showing them that we appreciate their custom, their loyalty. So we choose different sections of clients who've already purchased from us, and we don't offer them a blanket offer. We offer different segments, different offers which are more relevant to them. So we have a lot of information from their side as to what kind of artwork they're looking at, what price range, why do they want to use it, what's their background and stuff like that. So we customize those sales and give them certain offers that will be more relevant to them. So you don't have to do anything in that when we have these kind of promotions, which we try to not have very often. So
I think we people do it twice a year.
Yeah.
And for a few weeks.
Maximum twice a year, and we do that for just under 2 weeks. Because of the same reason of not making it a habit for people to wait for the end of the month because they know they're going to get a discounted price. Even for return customers.
Damn.
No, it's fine. It's not. So I mean, it only usually for a week or so would be a massive job to manually adjust my prices because I was fair enough, Chen. Fair enough. Like that, I completely understand what you're talking about. That's why I was saying maybe I can give you a call at some point this week, and we can talk about it in a bit more depth.
Oh, so hot in here.
Yeah. Return customers deserve a loyalty reward, not too big, but repeat buys are really sponsors.
Love it. All our theories are awesome.
Shell, what's really exciting is that we have designed a new dashboard and a new profile. So you will get more stats and you will get more information on how people are looking at your artworks, and also the way your profile looks will change soon as well. That's what everyone's excited about.
Yeah, super excited.
Cool.
I love how this webinar has almost been an hour.
I love how excited you guys are.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
I had a lady message me on Instagram yesterday with a picture of her lounge room and 7 of my I know that happens. Oh, where's the dog? The dog didn't come with me today because it is going to be around 38 degrees in Melbourne, and I don't want to walk him all the way back home, which is about 5K. So, but thanks for asking, no?
I didn't think about that.
Proportion of overseas buyers.
That's a
Marion,
good question.
Yeah, it has been increasing significantly in the past. I would say 3 to 4 months. It's difficult to give a percentage off my head. It could be inaccurate, but we do sell quite often. It usually, especially their first purchase is quite small because they haven't heard that much about Bluethumb yet, and we have actively started marketing overseas starting late November. So you will get to see more and more. And the way we've designed our checkout and sort of the process for international clients is pretty much exactly the same as for our local clients, our domestic Australian clients. So it doesn't really change that much, and it's really straightforward and simple. So it's really clean for them as well. So when there is an international sale, the artist can see that obviously the delivery address, and that's how you get to know it. But everything else from our side stays the same. And we've started marketing quite a lot now, so hopefully that will increase quite a lot.
Would you give a percentage?
So
I think I know the percentage.
That's right. You can go.
Is it 15?
I would say it would be roughly around 15.
Yeah.
But it's difficult to put a number down.
Yeah.
I don't want to be wrong. It's
as well.
Yeah. It changes. Like obviously, like if you're talking about the last month, I would say not 15 because it's been a holiday period.
Yeah.
But if you talk about between November to December or October to November, yes, I think it would be between 10 to 15%.
Yeah.
I'd love a bit more notice in future for any events.
Yeah, we're getting better at the organization. We bought a new system to help us help you, because we know that's not our strong point, but we're like, this is part of the new year, new us, where we're being better organized, and we'll have more notice for lots of events.
New year, new us.
Yeah,
that's great.
New year, new Bluethumb.
Joss, don't worry, you found us now. I'm hoping and wishing that everything from here on will go well.
Mm-hmm.
Will the dashboards have a trending artwork section? I find that most popular painting is several pages back in my. Rebecca, I can't give you details, but you will find out
very soon.
Do you do exhibitions online?
Maybe you could, Jose, you could be talking about, we do curations, so online curations. If you go to I can't remember the tabs off by heart, but maybe just email in and I'll tell you how to get there. You can have a look.
Will Adelaide BT artists be getting a pop-up shop in 2019? Go on.
Yes.
We definitely.
And I might as well just tell everyone now. So will Perth. Woo! And I'm going to be there. And I'm really excited.
No, we'll definitely do Adelaide and Perth. That was a plan to do it this year.
Yeah.
We've already done Sydney and Melbourne, and also Brisbane. We'll try and make Brisbane happen as well.
I'm so excited for this year. It's going to be so great. It's going to be so good. Oh.
Joss has another question about exhibitions. Maybe Joss, maybe Sarah can have a chat with you one-on-one later on and just answer a few questions. Is there a way we can number our paintings so that they do not end at page 20 when you want it number 1, please? I'm having trouble moving them around. Donna.
Oh, the reordering.
Yeah, just wait for the new profile.
It's coming.
To come in. I'm hoping that will solve that issue as well. To put it into perspective, like I think a week or two ago, the site was down on an afternoon and it was crazy. And even this morning, the stats are missing. Like, this is all because of the giant build we're doing in the back section. So it's all coming. Like, collections are coming. Everything's coming. Like, just, it's going to be so good. Anyway. Would you be able to get stats on the size of the artworks? That would be interesting. Do overseas buyers tend to purchase smaller works, prints, etc.?
They do go small in the beginning.
In the beginning, they do go small. They do buy smaller works and prints, mostly because of the psyche that it's easier for shipments internationally and it will be cheaper. But we have had a significant amount of expensive artworks go out as well. So to Singapore, US, UK, France. We've
lots of France.
Significantly sold quite a lot. They have bought expensive, big artworks, like almost like 180 centimeters. So like that's 1.8 meters.
Massive.
Artworks have gone out as well.
Yes. Adelaide.
Oh, God. For Adelaide, so happy to hear that you should have left out from Eastern Seaboard.
Oh.
Brisbane and surroundings are a hard place to crack. We'll try and touch base on all of these major cities.
Brisbane, everyone's talking about Brisbane. Oh, guys, you just have no idea how good it's going to be. Sarah cracked me up. and the whole office. I'm everyone's entertainment.
Yeah. That's the primary reason.
That's true.
It's the primary reason we hired her.
Exactly. It's not for my professionalism.
In the feed, really don't think I have many artists to show their work at the best. Lisa, the square thing is will stay, but there will be a workaround for that.
Did you want to mention it?
No, I won't get into detail, but there
Yeah.
will be a way for you to work around that.
Yeah. We're going to make it better looking.
Brisbane next year, pop-up, possible venue. Oh, great. Meredith, we'll be in touch with you.
Okay,
when
great.
we're doing Brisbane.
No, I love Meredith.
That's what we need as well. Like when we do these pop-ups,
Yeah.
we will need a lot of support from a few
From
artists.
local artists.
Yeah, it's just because it's difficult to maintain all that from a distance.
Yeah.
We will need support from you, and we'll get in touch with you guys accordingly. Cool. Brisbane is awesome.
Yeah, Meredith, we'll have a chat.
Alex is from Brisbane, and she's listening, so it's definitely awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that's the end of comments.
Okay. Was that everything?
Yeah.
Wow. That was a big webinar.
It has been a great webinar, and I'm glad you guys are up and excited as much as we are.
Yeah.
It's always to answer your questions. It gives us a good insight on what's going on and what's important and what's not. One other thing I wanted to say before we go is feel free to always share your opinions. Share your opinions on what kind of information, or sort of not information, but what kind of insight would you like from us, and we'll try our best to share that with you in any way we can. Also, the Facebook group, we do monitor it pretty closely, but I think we've touched base on this as well, that we've created that community for the artists, and it's sort of not controlled by it's run primarily by the artists as well. So we try to keep our involvement in there minimal as we can. But if you do have ideas, and want to get other artists' opinions on that, please do share that, because we do keep,
because we read it and
we look at
learn
it,
from
definitely.
it. Yeah.
Such
a great webinar.
Thank you, Joss.
Oh, actually, everyone's leaving, but the Christmas break, thank you all for being so patient. It was only me on, and it was crazy. And but a lot of you understood that and knew that things were going to take time. So thank you so much for your patience over that break. It was awesome. I couldn't have asked for it to go any better. And Shiraz had a good 3-week holiday, didn't you?
Yeah, no. There was a time when I didn't know what day it was, and it was great. Cool. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, support that we get from you is always appreciated, and just motivates us to do even better.
Yeah.
Cool. We might end it at this high note, but feel free to leave more comments in here, and we'll keep checking it regularly and answer it accordingly. And the next webinar, when we have it, we will address those as well. Yeah.
And if anyone that was said email us or anything, just do it now while it's fresh, and we'll get it all sorted.
Yeah. Kit, we haven't forgotten Darwin. Darwin is one of our favorite spots.
Territories. We like Canberra too. That's why.
But we will get there as well. We will definitely get there as well.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think we'll end it at this point.
Cool.
See you guys, and feel free to leave notes and comments in here, or on Facebook as you prefer, and we can always pick that up.
And see you in 2 weeks.
All right. See you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Bye.